Welcome, little one. This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you. You have been born into dangerous times. A sharp mind can be the key to survival. But as often as not, it will be your inherent physical traits that win the day. And in this regard, you will be superior to your more common brethren. For you are a commando, an elite unit, something truly special. Your weapons, your armor, and most importantly, your brothers.
All right, men. Listen up.
Delta Squad, form up.
Forming up, boss.
Question. How do we call him? He gave us a signal.
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham adversaries, my fellow Republic Commandos? It is your boy Trey of the Bat Channel, and I can say we are live from the Batcave again. It's not like the last show where we pre-recorded it. But as always, it's so awesome to see everyone here. Let's just go ahead and get started and bring in the number one co-host I could ever ask for, He is a Sith, Mr. Super Bro Sith Corey. What's up?
Hello there.
Hello there.
I threw you off. I went with hello there instead of you can't. Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, big fella?
Good, man. Good to be live. How's things going for you today?
Busy. A lot of yard work. We're getting ready. The in-laws are coming back from Australia. So we've been trying to get the house, a little nicer than it has been. I mean, we keep it fairly clean, but unless if Super Bro Corey comes over, then it's a mess. I'm just kidding.
True that.
So did you have a good 4th of July, by the way, Phil?
Yeah, it was a good time. Obviously, we spent most of it together. I was there for the morning portion, then drove back. But yeah, it was good. It was good. How was yours?
It was good. It was good to see you for a little bit. I know we technically weren't fully on 4th of July hanging out together, but man, people go crazy here with fireworks, which is nice. They were going until midnight though. They were going hardcore at it. And I was okay with it because
nice. Well,
America.
Yeah.
But guys, someone who believes we celebrate our treacherous ways. You guys know him as the mother Batman, the Savage Bat.
Ooh, we bringing him in hot.
Bringing him in hot. Hit it.
Yeah. Come on. Straight out of G-City. Y'all know me. I'm Batman, the motherfucking Dark Knight. I'm a playboy by day, vigilante by night. I'm Batman, the defender of Gotham. I dress up like a bat, cause it's motherfucking awesome. Batman's in the house, come and party in the Batcave. Yo, Alfred.
Yes, Master Wayne.
Bring some more Cavassier.
Yo.
What's up, Savage?
How's it going, people?
Doing
How
good,
we
man.
doing,
It's great
brother?
to see you. I'm so glad you could be here. Orc and Beans 14 can't be with us today. He was on vacation in Florida, and he's come under the weather a little bit. So hopefully he gets better soon because we got some things to discuss today. But before we begin, Savage, tell us what's been going on with you lately, my man.
Nothing. Just organising stuff for my channel and been networking and stuff. Getting on with my normal life as well at the same time. Trying to make things happen. Yo, Retro Nerd Girl, how's it going?
Retro Nerd Girl in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not
Yo,
subscribed to Retro Nerd Girl or my man El Necron, I see him in the house. You guys need to because they're phenomenal. I love these guys. Corey, who else do we have in the chat today?
Yeah, man, we got a lot of people in here today. We got Bat-Dan, who is flight was delayed 4 hours. That sucks, but made it home.
I heard you saw Top Gun Maverick again, so
I know,
thank you for being a part of that 4%, not 16%. Seeing it on repeat,
Yeah. We got Socks in the house.
Yo,
Socks.
Ryan Swayze. We have Necra. We've mentioned Retro Nerd Girl.
Love their channels.
The Batman Who Laughs. We got Trevor H.
What's up,
Oracle's
guys?
Clock Tower.
Oracle.
The Butler. Dadpool's in house.
Dadpool.
Good Outlaw. Did I miss anybody?
Outlaw.
Yeah, it's filled, man. It's going good today.
Oh man, that's exciting, guys. I'm excited because finally, and I'm a little sad that Orc and Beans couldn't be here for us because he's been the one that's been mostly for the love of God, Corey, please stop. But now he can just know that we're taking care of this for you. No, my man, dude, it's so good to see you.
Dreamwalker artist in the house.
Yeah, boy, no.
The legend himself.
You've been busy signing all weekend, haven't you? At what Comic-Con was it? I think it was
Philippines,
in the Philippines, right?
Toy-Con, I think it was. He was doing.
Dude, congrats
Great
on
pictures
that.
from there. Yeah,
it's been selling like crazy, and you just been busy. Hopefully, you're not too tired from it all. But hey, my man, it's always good to see you. Corey, we need to get on taking those pictures.
Yeah, I was actually gonna do it today.
I was gonna do it too. I was showering and grooming and stuff, trying to make myself look pretty for Noel. But guys, it's so good to see you guys here for our Delta Squad stream. They're always fire, and we thank you guys so much for making them really successful. We just kind of jumped into the Star Wars verse because we're big Star Wars fans. Corey and I have always loved Star Wars, and I know Savage is a big Star Wars fan, but when you kind of start out as a DC channel and you try to expand into some things, some people are kind of what are you doing? Stay in your lane. And it's but I'm a geek about other stuff too. And so far, the Star Wars community has really embraced us. Our last video was fire with doing our debate and discussion on Natalie Holt music versus John Williams for Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And it kind of took off a little bit. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't seen that video already, you need to, because it's a great discussion where we really dive in deep into a particular scene on the Obi-Wan Kenobi finale and talking about, was it right for Natalie Holt to do her thing, or would have been a little John Williams music been a little better? But as a music guy, that was a fun conversation. But today we're going to answer Corey's lifelong question, the question that has been haunting his dreams ever since the little Padawan said, "Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?" Now we are going to find out. F them kids, first off. But we're going to find out, did Obi-Wan Kenobi give up on Anakin too easily? This is the question that has been... Corey, tell us, why has this been haunting you? Why have you had this need throughout all of our Delta Squad shows? Have you always brought this up? Tell us why you need this answered.
Because it's the truth. That's why. You know, it's always interesting to me. It's like, obviously we know how the story is going to play out if you watch 4, 5, and 6, but it always seemed to me with their relationship as, you know, kind of that, you know, earlier age where he's super young, that father son, you know, figure, and then to a brotherhood, that the way that it kind of just goes to the wayside. I don't feel like Obi-Wan did everything that he possibly could have done. Okay. So you believe that Anakin could have been saved before we got through all the mess of the Empire. You think that he could have been stopped. He could have been turned back to the light, realize the error of his ways, and maybe change the entire original trilogy. Because you realize if we did this, Corey, if we figured out the answer to this, the original trilogy probably wouldn't exist. I understand that, and I would say that there's a possibility that I think things could have changed, but what I'm really focusing on is I feel like Obi-Wan gave up way too easily.
Okay, so you think he didn't push hard enough? He didn't try for his relationship that they had, you know, in Attack of the Clones. It was that father-son relationship. In Revenge of the Sith, it became more of a brotherhood.
Yeah.
You're wondering why did Obi-Wan not just give like a couple more sentences saying, "Please, my man," begging him, "come back to the light"?
Absolutely, there's that, but you know, obviously we know that the Jedi's failed Anakin hardcore, dude. Like. That's a whole nother, you know, show, how much the Jedis and the Order itself failed Anakin from the very beginning. So, and then his own brother didn't even, you know, help fight to get him out of the Sith control, the ways of the dark side.
Savage, what do you think about all this? You know, obviously, you know, Corey has been begging us to do this discussion for a long time. What's your initial thoughts before we dive in really deep into this?
I see where he's coming from, but at the end of the day, I think Darth Vader kind of showed Obi-Wan with his actions that all hope was lost. You know, there was, you know, no point. You know, they were. You know, he was you know, Michael Myers, Darth Vader, who's a full-blown Sith Lord. And they kind of addressed that, you know, it wasn't, you know, that it's not your fault. And, you know, Obi-Wan said sorry and all that. And that was kind of, I was happy with that, really. That they, you know, made amends to give, like, that's it, it's done now. Obi-Wan's beaten him twice. Even the Emperor's saying, leave it alone. Do you know what I mean? We've got more important things to get along with now. It's not about Obi-Wan.
You think it's completely, like, Corey is full of shit. Obi-Wan did as best as he could, that it should just be left alone, that there's nothing to discuss here, really.
Well, Obi-Wan, you know, discussed it with aggressive negotiations with his lightsaber. And it didn't end well for Darth Vader, so that's it. You know what I mean? You know, the lightsaber, you know, spoke the truth and the Force, in my eyes, from that.
Okay. So let's go ahead and are you guys ready to kind of like dive in deep here and to kind of answer, see if we can give Corey some comfort, let him, sleep at night, finally, rather than, looking up at the ceiling like, why, Obi-Wan? Why, damn it? Why couldn't you save Anakin? Are you guys ready to begin this?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. First off, it's wonderful to see everyone in the chat. I see Rhea as well. Guys, Rhea had a fire stream yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, so good. Literally, and guys, as you already know, for some people in the chat, if you have a YouTube channel, I'm okay if you put the link in the live chat and, kind of promote yourself, because I want people to discover you as well, because this is a community. And I love building the community because it's not just about us, it's about everyone. So it's always good to see you guys here helping support us. My man, Restore to Cyber Guy, he's absolutely right. Delta Squad, form up. Forming up, boss. Here we go. But if you haven't already, follow us on some of our other social media pages, like on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can go to @the_bat channel. On Facebook, someone already took that, those bastards. But you could do @holybat channel. A little play off of, some of the Robin in 1966, Burt Ward. But go ahead and follow us on other social media pages. We're doing some fun stuff on TikTok, doing Instagram and Twitter. Sorry, we're usually nonstop tweeting about #Make the Batfleck movie or Restore to Cyberverse, or even, some things about Jurassic World. We like to promote some movies on there. So check us out, hang out, just a better way to get into the community. And obviously, if you haven't already, please, you will subscribe to the Savage Bat. You will subscribe to the Orkin Beans 14. Even though Orkin Beans isn't with us because he's sick, go subscribe to his channel. Help him feel better. Give him some of that chicken noodle soup on Twitch. He has a wonderful Twitch gaming channel. If you guys are into that, Orkin Beans 14 is where it's at. But if you just want some great content about DC and other things, the Savage Bat, my man, he's doing some great interviews. He also did a very controversial interview that I think is just gonna blow up for you about the whole Flash situation with Ezra Miller. But it's just hearing from the other side that's been kind of oppressed, really kind of been suppressed from the media, and they try to shut it down. But luckily, Savage Bat was able to make that interview work. It's a great stream. Do you want to talk about that real quick before we go into that whole thing?
Yeah, well, I kind of sort of looked at the evidence that I keep coming across on Facebook and Twitter about, some screenshots and dodgy stuff with lawyers going on, and basically a sort of smear campaign on Ezra Miller, and then I just by chance ended up getting in contact with his partner, Anna Rossa, and done the stream with her, sort of revealing the truth. It's just a bit of an Batman investigation, motherfucking Batman investigation. So hopefully,
go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully, this will help with the whole situation and give people the truth. That was all I wanted to do.
And I think it was a great stream, bud, and I hope it just continues to blow up. It's really phenomenal. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's always good, whether you have an opinion on that situation or not. It's always good to hear what the other side, or maybe the side that you're on, is talking about. Just look at everything, make your own informed opinion after you've done your research, rather than listening to just one side of it. So great job on that, Savage. Definitely check out that video if you haven't already. But guys, let's go ahead and answer Corey's lifelong question. Did Obi-Wan Kenobi give up on Anakin too easily? Now, Corey, you talk about especially that Obi-Wan, he could have said more. He could have done more. Give us, where do you think he started losing Anakin? Like, where do you think that would have been the opportune moment for Obi-Wan to have really pushed to save Anakin?
Well, look, without getting too much into the previous side of things, as far as kind of the downfall, of Anakin that we see, because we could go all the way back to the beginning, right? Yeah. With Duel of the Fates and everything like that. But he does. I would like to mention that when you start to see that instead of that father figure, he becomes more of a brotherly figure. It starts to become more of a competition. But I think it also, you start to see Obi-Wan, not really give him what he needs as a master, right? If you one of the biggest things that I like to say is Obi-Wan's teaching approach with Anakin was absolutely horrible as well. And even Anakin calls him out himself. He says, he told Padme that he's overly critical, he never listens, and he just doesn't understand. And I think that's true the entire time, as well as when he's moving off to the dark side. It's very interesting to see that for me as well.
So
You're about to say
Savage,
something, yep.
let's go into that. Savage, what do you think about Corey's opinion on that? That Obi-Wan was probably not the best equipped teacher for Anakin.
Yeah, no, that far back, definitely. I mean further on, but yeah, at that point, most definitely, he made several, big mistakes with Anakin. Encouraging his aggressive nature and letting him get away with a lot with Padme, and like someone mentioned in the chat about, did he know about the Tusken Raiders from Trevor H? There we go, super chat. He probably did know about the Tusken Raiders. And he knew about the Emperor as well, but he just wasn't quite sure. The Council knew about the Emperor, but they still let Anakin near him, even though they knew. So that was very irresponsible of all of them. Considering Anakin's supposed to be the chosen one, putting him right next to, the Emperor was Palpatine was a dumbass move. And it didn't end very well for them, as we all know.
Absolutely, and I would say the entire Jedi Council failed Anakin. They
definitely
were all afraid to touch him and give him the support he needed, and especially after Qui-Gon took him away from his mother. Now he needs support. Now they kind of half-assed Anakin, and it's no doubt in my mind this was the path that was going to happen.
Well, I definitely think, Corey, if anything, an argument can be made that the Jedis definitely took their approach of, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. They thought their, centuries of, their methods of teaching Padawans throughout the ages was going to be enough for Anakin. But Anakin was also starting late. He is very much aware of his mom and his, lifestyle.
But Trey, I'm sorry. This man is the chosen one, supposedly. You think it would have been a little bit more team effort into growing him the proper way. They already know that there's things that didn't go with the Jedi training flow, so that's why they should have taken even more care within the chosen one.
You bring that up, that they all collectively should have, because he's the chosen one, right? But not everyone believed he was the chosen one. Mace Windu multiple times showed his doubts in Attack of the Clones.
I was just about to say Mace Windu was probably the worst for winding Anakin up. Really, not making him a master thing, and the way he spoke to him in general, as distrustful. It was that distrust that made Anakin not trust the Jedi. Because if you've got to trust each other. That's part of teamwork. And Mace Windu didn't play that very well at all.
Yeah, I mean, like as you guys were kind of mentioning that with Obi-Wan, when they gave the assignment for Anakin to protect Padme in Attack of the Clones, they were doubting if he was ready for this or not. And of course, Anakin thinks he is, and he's eager to serve and to obviously get closer with Padme. But even Obi-Wan's but is he not the chosen one? Is he not the one that's meant to destroy the Sith? And then Mace Windu says, so the prophecy says. So he even has doubts that the prophecy is even true, So I think the fact that not everyone was quite on board with Anakin being the chosen one, I mean, maybe that's why they had the response. I mean, he was not even he was kind of forced to be a part of the Jedi, Academy with, Qui-Gon. It was basically his dying wish that Yoda was sure, we'll agree with you. We'll do what Qui-Gon wanted. But if they had their initial way, Anakin was never supposed to become a Jedi. No. From that initial
and put just on the basis of Anakin being a young man that's probably never been in bed with a woman, in that situation with Natalie Portman. I mean, another dumbass move by the Jedi Council. It was obvious that was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? The hormones and all that. And what was they playing at? What game was they playing? Knowing that they're going to,
I think in their own way, they had too much faith in their teachings and in their moral rules, like, of no attachments, none of this, none of that, no love.
But Obi-Wan was a horrible teacher. He like this is why I get upset with Obi-Wan and people who are like super pro Obi-Wan, because
I am.
I know. I think Qui-Gon wouldn't have allowed him to go to the dark side, personally, in my opinion, and I think we could all slightly agree with that. Obi-Wan, he's kind of he's kind of a piece of shit when it comes to the Jedi side of things.
Hold the F on.
Here's why. I'm gonna just spin it out real quick.
I'm gonna let you have this moment, but tread carefully, sir.
Them are fighting words.
You're gonna get me upset, Corey. Once I get upset,
we already know that Qui-Gon was more of like the will of the Force rather than you kind of went with the flow of things, right?
Yeah.
I think we all agree that Obi-Wan was very, following the Jedi Order, following the Jedi Code. That's why, he's, even at a young age, Obi-Wan's like, oh, don't go against the Council, Master Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon. He's like, he was always down for the policies and the rules of the Jedi Order.
Well, I mean, that's the brainwashing the kids go through, though, because the Jedi Order, that's it. That's
exactly
their life,
and that's fine. I'm fine with that. That's cool with me. Except Obi-Wan definitely knew about the Tusken Raiders. He knew about Padme and the attachments that he was having. He knew everything that was going on with Anakin, and yet he didn't say anything about it all. He just let it kind of.
So let's ask about this, because let's address Trevor H's super chat. Which, first off, Trevor H, my man, always coming through with that $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that, bro.
Let's get him on this real quick.
Let's give him a little something.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Because we are coming in hot.
General Kenobi.
Did Obi-Wan know about the Tusken Raiders? So Corey says he absolutely knew about the Tusken Raiders.
100%.
But why do you say that, Corey?
Yo, Nikita.
What's that, sorry?
No, Nikita in the chat. Yo.
Nikita, what's up?
What's up, Nikita? It's good to see you, brother.
Good.
Hope Project Justice League Part 2 is going well. Can't wait to. Is it this month that it's going to come out at the end of the month? I can't remember, but that's if you guys haven't seen Part 1 of Project Justice League, you need to. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's a motion comic, video that you can watch. So good. It's really good.
I think Obi-Wan obviously was very in tune with the Force. He knew when things would go. He knew when Anakin was doing things, just like. All the other things he would let slide, when Anakin's chopping people's heads off and stuff like that.
But do you think that maybe because of Anakin, I think was a very tough student for anyone. I think he would have been a tough student, maybe even for Qui-Gon. I think Qui-Gon maybe would have been the better teacher because Anakin already looked at Qui-Gon as a father figure.
The better
but I think, though, Corey, that because Anakin was just moving faster than really any probably Padawan has ever moved and learned, and has shown skills of another level that, would rival Obi-Wan even at a young age. But do you think that because of that, like in some cases, Obi-Wan thought it was best to just let Anakin do his thing to show that he trusted him, so that way, hopefully in return, Anakin would do the same. So maybe, just maybe, while Obi-Wan knew there was something wrong, he never knew about the Tusken Raiders.
I feel like he's a black and white following the Jedi Code teacher, but he's allowing for gray. He kept allowing for gray, which wasn't good because he's trying to teach black and white Jedi Code. but he's not talking about, all this.
But
other
wouldn't have
issues going
Qui-Gon
on
Jinn
over
done
here.
the same? I mean, Qui-Gon Jinn was very much a rebel in the Jedi Order. That's why he
Yes.
never made the
Yes.
master on the level.
And
He was
that's
just
why
a Jedi Knight.
and that's why he would have been a better instructor and master for Anakin, who's living in that gray.
Yeah.
So you think simply because Qui-Gon himself was a rebel anyways, that Anakin could identify with that
Definitely
and
Retro
find
Nerd
more.
Girl.
Okay, that's an interesting thought there. Retro Nerd Girl says Anakin was
Agreed.
wronged by the council, in my opinion. I think he was wrong in some areas, but at the same time, you could tell that he fell too much into his power. That like he knew. I think here's the problem: when everyone around you is saying, "Oh my God, that's the chosen one. That's the chosen one. That's the chosen one." Isn't that going to get to your head a little bit? I mean, we saw a bit of a headstrong, arrogant, kid in Attack of the Clones. So
Yeah.
how do you put him into his place to be like, no, dude, you're like, you have to get to that level. You're not there yet. Like, you got to work for it, and Anakin, and because of his natural talent and natural connection with the Force, he was kind of ahead of the curve. But at the same time, that was getting to his head. His ego is really big.
But and that's what I love what Necron said here. That's why the council as a whole should have helped teach Anakin to show him the ways of the Jedi. His midichlorian counts were just through the roof. They knew there was something spectacular with this young boy. They all should have had in their hand. They all should have had a part in it, and that even goes for Mace Windu after Qui-Gon died, because Mace Windu kind of was on that line as well of good evil. So it's like or good evil powers. So like everybody should have had a part in the raising and the growth of this young boy, but they didn't. So that's how the council failed him. But Obi-Wan, definitely failed him a little bit more. But like how Necron said, Jedi Council was high in their own supply. That's why the council was also a little evil as well. They were into the politics. They were loving that type of stuff. I'm attacking them
I hear what you're saying, but the Jedi looked at it as that politics were already corrupt, so it needed some intervention.
And they were corrupt in that's a whole
I mean, we will have to go into that, but like, I personally think while there was some, I mean, power corrupts, right? That's just kind of the general consensus of anything. But, and I guess here, let's address what Noel's saying here first. There was an ongoing imbalance in the Force, the living Force with the cosmic Force. All the Jedi were too blind. This is perfect to accept that, and the Sith took advantage of that with a prophecy. As mentioned in Phantom Menace, Mace Windu said to, I believe at the time, that he wasn't the Chancellor yet. He was a senator of Naboo with Palpatine. But he said, I think it's time that we tell the Council that we have lost our ability to use the Force, because they were blinded by the attacks and the underlying Sith power that was going on throughout the entire galaxy. So when you look at that, and this is kind of what I wanted to get to, was Emperor Palpatine just so ahead of the Jedi in his foresight that he made the greatest plan ever, that he knew exactly what the Jedi were going to do, how they were going to do it, and that while it looked not in his favor, it was in his favor. Everything that they did, even to work against the Emperor after they figured out his plan, it was still working towards his plan.
I would say this. I think the thing that Emperor Palpatine had 100% correct, and he could have known some things for sure. He was super strong within the Force. But the thing that I like to point out is he gave Anakin what Obi-Wan could not or did not, which was he wasn't overcritical of Anakin. He listened to Anakin.
That was all not. That was the fakest
Anakin.
thing ever. Is the Emperor was trying to be that other side to allow, because here's the truth. Because the Emperor, it does matter, Corey. Because the Emperor, what?
He gave him what he needed. He listened.
He didn't give him what he needed. He did it everything as a lie, and that's the important thing to know about the Emperor. He promised that he would train Anakin how to be able to keep people from dying. Did he do that? No. In fact, he wanted Padme to die, because if Padme died, Anakin becomes stronger with the dark side of the Force.
He didn't follow through, but he clearly was telling him, feeding him the stuff that he needed in order to be like, oh, whoa, Palpatine has my back. Palpatine's listening to me. Palpatine understands my concerns.
But did he not just do that as part of his plan because he knew the Jedi was going to be on him, watching him closely, because he was this overly powerful chancellor during war times, and things weren't. They were told, as Count Dooku said to Obi-Wan, there is someone a part of the entire Republic that is working against you with the dark side. He is the Emperor.
I don't know if Palpatine knew everything how the order was going to fail him, but I'm sure he came home a lot, grabbed a beer out of the fridge, was like, get this shit, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do, or they followed through on something. I can't believe they did this shit today, at the bar after work. I think it played through. What are your thoughts, Savage?
Personally, I think with the references that Yoda's trying to tell Anakin careful about sensing the future, and the power of the Force being diminished in the Jedi by the Emperor, I think he foresaw all of it. And he even says in the original trilogy, everything is proceeding according to how I've foreseen. I think he was way ahead of the game. I think in episode 1, he knew, I think, personally.
Yeah. I mean, everything was just working perfectly in his favor. And Corey, I know you haven't seen Clone Wars, which is why you wouldn't really get that sense even more that everything was just perfect in his planning. Everything was done so calculated that the Emperor, he was just, Revenge of the Sith was going to happen or not. I mean, and it's why technically, as we've talked about this before, Emperor could have given Anakin, Darth Vader, better equipment, when he became Darth Vader, when he was burnt to shit. He could have made him a better model, but he didn't, because why? He now has power. And I would make the argument that said, even with the events of Revenge of the Sith, how Anakin loses that battle against Obi-Wan, I think personally that was all part of Emperor's plan, because he didn't want to give up power. This was not the rule of 2 of eventually I'm going to let my Padawan beat me. It was, I'm going to be the ruler of the galaxy forever. It's why he made Anakin Darth Vader acceptable to his weakness against electricity. It was all part of his grand plan, which makes it, I think personally, if you recall in Attack of the Clones, when Padme, why attack Padme at this point? Why try to assassinate her? Because he knows 2 Jedi are going to be given the case, and they're going to be meant to protect her. And by request of Chancellor Palpatine, he said, how about we have Anakin protect Padme? It wasn't the Jedi Order. They were just listening to him as if he was the high leader. They didn't expect him at that time. They didn't expect him to be the evil Emperor, the Sith behind everything. They said, that's not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and send Anakin. And Obi-Wan from the get-go was like, that's not a good idea.
But the Jedi doesn't answer to the Chancellor or anybody. So
they don't, but isn't it in cooperation? Isn't it working together? Because
No, they're 2 separate entities.
Sure, but at the same time,
politic-driven, power-hungry Jedis in the council.
Nonetheless, sir, don't you think? I mean, it's just proof that it wasn't so much Obi-Wan allowing it, but the Emperor pulling the strings from the get-go to have Anakin closer with Padme.
Put just the basic stuff that he done with putting it. He was in charge of the Separatist army and the clone army. Set that clone army up way before all of these events. Foreseeing that this would happen and playing, no one realizing that the Emperor was in charge of both armies, and it was just all a big game to get him in charge. You know, it was far deeper. I think the Emperor just probably from way before Episode 1 had all this planned out.
Agreed.
Absolutely. It is funny though that they have Anakin on a short leash until the Chancellor tells them to do something with him. Then they're like, "Oh yeah, go for it. Let them do it." They should have known. They should have known.
Yeah.
But remember, they're blocked from the dark side.
Yeah.
Like, they can't read the Emperor. They can't read
No,
the Chancellor because they have no idea.
Shadows out their powers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I feel like after so many times, they're like, "Oh, that's really fishy. This isn't real interesting." But that's a side. That's a side point.
So, with all that being said, I think at least maybe Corey is kind of disagreeing here. But even as kind of Sock says, the Emperor manipulated Anakin. He seduced him into the dark side because he told him those lies and saw that the Jedi wasn't doing. He allowed himself to be used by the Emperor. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I mean, it is very true. Like, in a way, yes, the Jedi were kind of at fault for Anakin's want and desire for power, because as we learned in Clone Wars, even in the Jedi archives, they kind of prevent any other Jedis except for the Jedi Council to knowing the Sith documents, reading the Sith archives of the dark side of the power to learn anything about it, because they want their students far away from it as possible.
What Necron's saying there is bang on.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Jedis are caught up.
Go for it.
Go ahead, Savage.
Jedi's were caught up in the day-to-day politics. Sidious took full advantage of that situation. I agree, that was exactly what happened. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have been involved in that politics, but because that was just the way things went, they ended up getting roped into it, and the Emperor took advantage of that. And
and in a way,
because they were power hungry.
The Republic used the Jedi, right? Like, the Jedis were considered the keepers of the peace and people to look up to as mentors of what's right and what's wrong. In a way, they were kind of like priests back in the old days, right? Where kings were powerful, but in a lot of cases, priests and people who were considered part of the churches or religion, the voices of religion were kind of considered even more powerful than the kings back then. Because people thought they were connected to the god or some higher being, in this case, the Force. So the Republic often used the Jedi as kind of the right and wrong, to help guide them through difficult times. And that's why the Republic often didn't if you think about it, the Republic didn't have an army for a very long time. I think it's been hundreds of years since they've had a Republic army. So it was a very big deal when they decided, yes, let's have the clone army, because at that time all they ever needed was the Jedi. So shouldn't the Jedi have a bit of a say of what is right and wrong, because they're the ones sending their people to die? I mean, don't you agree, Corey?
I can see what you're saying there, but this was just a little bit of a sprinkle for what's coming up next.
A sprinkle for what's coming up next?
Mm-hmm.
No, where's next? Out of curiosity,
it's I guess, should we talk about get a little bit more into Obi-Wan giving up on Anakin too easily now? So
I think we've kind of talked about the background of why there was a grand architect plan that worked against Obi-Wan in this case. But yes, let's now specifically get to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Did he fail Anakin and give up too easy?
I think you start at the third one, where we the Battle of Mustafar.
Okay, where do you want to start with that exactly? Where? Because I'm going to let you kind of run this, Corey, because this is, let's answer your hard questions that you have been bugging you for the longest time.
Okay,
and let me put it this way real quick. But sorry to interrupt you, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, I agreed with you for the longest time, because I know you've had this argument for, guys, before we even had a YouTube channel. Super Bro Corey has had this issue for a very long time, and he knows I'm an Obi-Wan guy, which I partly think is the reason why you have this argument, because you're just like and that's what older brothers do.
Brotherly rivalry going
right? But I would just like to think. What's that?
You see, the brother rival? We're striking each other down.
Oh, I see it. Hey, mirroring the situation, right? But Corey's had this issue for a very long time, and I used to agree with Corey. For the longest time, I agreed that Corey was right that Obi-Wan didn't try hard enough. It wasn't until recently, since the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, where I now disagree with Corey.
Yo,
Hardcore. Skywalker the Jedi. Skywalker, are you popping in this? So you're probably working today. Okay, no worries, Sky. I was gonna say, if you're available, my man, I'll bring you in. But Skywalker the Jedi, he's popping in to support the homies. Much appreciated, my brother. Much love to this fantastic panel, and all you guys are phenomenal at what you do. 100%. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Skywalker. I really appreciate that for that $5 super chat. Corey, can we play my man Sky something a little diddly?
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Apparently, Corey forgot about that. The dark side has cookies, Corey. Can he really blame Anakin?
Well, yeah, I would join for some cookies, but...
Okay, Corey. So now that I've kind of said my piece, that I used to agree with you on this, I recently now don't agree with you. But go ahead. Let's start from the very beginning. My man, Julian, it's good to see you, brother. Hope all is well, my man. Corey?
Yo.
Begin.
Yeah, I think we probably should jump into this kind of next part, We'll go to Mustafar now, and Mustafar.
The Mustafar system.
Do it.
Yeah, so, okay, so let's talk about, when Padme comes off the ship, and he's having the argument with her. Did Obi-Wan show himself too early? Would Anakin have force choked and killed Padme? I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are here.
I am so glad you brought this up, Corey. Savage, I'm going to go ahead and let you start with whether you agree with Corey or like what you think about that.
There's nothing I agree here with. It's like, do we think as a group, as the Delta Squad, would Anakin have killed Padme at that point of the movie that Obi-Wan had to interrupt in order to stop him from force choking the hell out of her?
Okay, go ahead, Savage.
I think at that point, Anakin has just completely lost the plot. So I don't think Anakin's Obi-Wan's interference at that point would have made any difference, to be honest with you. It was far too late, and Anakin was completely gone. He was saying to Padme, we're going to rule the galaxy and all this crazy shit. He was completely off his nut on dark side cocaine or something, And, you know what I mean? And, I think just the way Obi-Wan, came out and faced him, that was the point of that scene was, I've got to say something now, got to do something now. It's gone way past this. I'm here to save, but if I can't save you, then I'm gonna have to fuck you up, basically.
Savage brought up exactly what I was going to bring up, Corey, because I knew you were gonna talk about this situation where Obi-Wan shows up too soon, and I think Savage is completely right, because while I think yes, if there's anyone at this point that could change Anakin, turn him back to the light, it should have been Padme, right? The woman he loves, the woman he's doing all this for, supposedly. But when you watch this, Hayden Christensen plays this scene in a very interesting way, and I think we should watch it. I did download it. I know we're going to get copyright strike. At this point, I don't care, guys. This is for us. This is for a great discussion, and we're having it. Corey, I want you to pay real close attention to how Hayden Christensen reacts to Natalie Portman when she's given this whole great speech telling them we can get away from this. We can come back. Okay.
Man, if that doesn't show you right there that Obi-Wan showed himself way too early, I don't know what will, Trey.
I am shocked right now because I would have thought, like, after rewatching that, Corey, you would have saw that Anakin was already gone. That he was already we have our empire. Like, we're going to do. If you've watched the Clone Wars, you would know how much Padme would be against that. Even Attack of the Clones, where democracy is the right way to go. And he was like, oh, well, what about, dictatorship? If it works, and she'd be like, no, it doesn't work. And here he is like, no, it could be you and I. And she's like, bro, you're going down a path I'm not going to go. And he's like, the Jedi have turned against me. Don't you turn against me too. Already showing that he is getting pissed off with her. And Obi-Wan hasn't even shown up yet.
Trey, real quick, I just saw in the chat that Skywalker wants a link. So
I sent it to him.
Okay, perfect. So the reason I said that is because if you look specifically, him and Padme are arguing, yes, but they're still going back and forth. He's pleading his case to her that he can overthrow this corrupt Palpatine Chancellor, that they can run the things that they want. He hasn't started force choking her yet, and he's getting upset, more and more upset that she keeps bringing up Obi-Wan. Probably wasn't the best move on her part because clearly they got some, their brothers fighting at that point. But they're arguing, going back and forth like that. It's still an argument. And it's not until he sees Obi-Wan that he realizes that Obi-Wan put her against him and that he's going to force choke her now.
Okay.
Out of pure
I
anger.
hear what you're saying there, but I still think you're wrong. Savage, do you have any comments towards that?
I see what Corey's trying to say, but either way, if you hadn't have, if Obi-Wan hadn't have showed up then, she was just about to go, sorry, Anakin, I don't want anything to do with you. If she'd have just carried on walking and tried to get on the ship, he probably would have went for her anyway.
Would he have went for her, or would
I think so,
he
yeah.
have started to pull back? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm doing this all for you.
He was, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If she's saying, if the whole point of Darth Vader's mission is for Padme, and she's saying, I don't want anything to do, you goodbye, blah, 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 he was just loses the plot at anything, Anakin. Yeah. He would have lost the plot. As soon as she tried to go up them stairs and get on the ship and fly away, he would have went for it, or tried to stop her, or even kidnapped her, I should imagine. Because you've got to remember, he was actually a Sith Lord. Do you know what I mean? They don't muck around. And I think he would have done so. Wouldn't he would have ended up hurting her in some way.
So
anyway,
let's go into that because I think Savage brought up a great point. Clearly, it looks like Padme is not going to go down this road. She even says it, like you're going down a path I can't follow.
Don't want anything to do with
Obi-Wan doesn't show up, Corey. What happens? Padme probably leaves, right? She probably says no.
We'll try to leave. She would try to leave, and Anakin would have stopped her.
What would have happened, Corey? Do you think Anakin would have stopped her, just solidifying himself even more into the dark side of the Force?
And I don't 100% know. I think there's a possibility that he would have stopped her, but I think that I think that he would have probably flown after her as well. There's a possibility that instead of kidnapping, he would have flown after her and tried.
You're telling me the most powerful Jedi at this point, who's so into himself, so into his head right now about his power and what he can do for Padme, is going to just let her walk away and get into.
I think that as she was walking up those steps, he would have grabbed hold of her with the Force and said, "Where the fuck do you think you're going?"
Probably in that manner too.
Yeah.
He's like, I already killed younglings. You don't think I'll kill those damn things?
I'll kill kids. You think I won't kill you?
But he killed kids for her.
Well, but here's the thing though, Corey. Like, would he not? I mean, in a way, would he say, like, would Anakin basically tell her, like, I'm doing this to save you? Like, you may hate me for it, but if I keep you alive, then I did my job. Mm-hmm. I mean, but he still kidnaps her. He still does something very evil.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to lie there.
He would have had to manipulate her somehow, with the Force, and he has that sort of those them flying droids with the little injector things. He probably would have sort of,
but I think
drugged her up and made her a slave to the dark side, maybe.
I think we can all agree with what Bat-Dan's saying here. Clearly, by Obi-Wan showing up, it made the situation worse. It definitely escalated a whole lot.
It definitely took another level, but did Obi-Wan show up at the... I mean, if anything, what Obi-Wan should have done is he should have just not allowed Anakin to force choke her. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, I think Obi-Wan still much at that point is trying so hard not to give up on Anakin. He's trying so hard not to start the battle, but it's really until, well, I mean, I brought up this clip too, Corey, because I think this is important to the argument as well of why Anakin at this point at Revenge of the Sith, he has already lost. Because, Corey, I'm assuming you talked about Revenge of the Sith being the moment of opportunity for Obi-Wan to have saved him. Was this the moment of opportunity that you're talking about, this whole Mustafar situation?
No.
what's that?
I'm sorry. Say that. Ask your question one more time.
Was Mustafar the whole situation on Mustafar? Was that Obi-Wan's moment of opportunity to save Anakin from the dark side?
No.
What
Well,
was?
I guess let me ask you this: are you asking about was the scene that where you just got to talk about? Was that the only time Obi-Wan?
No. I'm saying like for the first time, like now knowing that Anakin's going to the dark side. I don't want to use the Tusken Raider situation because I don't recall if they mention it in the comics or in Clone Wars that Obi-Wan ever knows about the Tusken Raider situation. So I can't speak on that.
But he did know about Padme.
He did know about Padme, but then again, it wasn't too hard to figure out what was going on there.
If you're going to teach the Jedi code, but allow for this gray area, you ain't doing it right, bro.
Noel said it best right here. Anakin was already gone when his mother died. I think that's when Vader was truly born in that situation.
Yeah, that was, that actually wounded Yoda to the point where it nearly put him on his ass.
Yeah.
It was that bad of a divergence in the Force.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the point that we lost Anakin. Definitely.
So, Corey, what was I'm not sure if you exactly answered it yet. What was the moment that Obi-Wan could have saved Anakin? No, following Star Wars canon, right? Like, don't create some weird scenario where like Obi-Wan's not actually there, but he's there now.
I have a few more questions, and I don't necessarily know if this Mustafar battle would have been the place where Obi-Wan could have saved it. I think the biggest part where he gave up on him is coming up in the series, but we get to Obi-Wan has the high ground. They get done fighting back and forth.
Okay. So I hear what you're saying there, Corey. And before we get to that part then, because now that I know, I just want to, because I know we're going to get to that part. So I get like something stinging my eye. I just want to help kind of build this case. So where I think Obi-Wan has kind of realized there's not much fighting that he can do for Anakin here at this part. So I just want to kind of show a clip that kind of gets into Obi-Wan's mindset. So here we go. Okay. So first off, I saw Trevor H said that he agrees with me, which is incredible. Take that, Super Bro. The fact that Trevor H is going against you.
Don't worry. We'll get Trevor H to understand the full power of the dark side.
That sounds very, very like Corey. So what I'm trying to suggest there is that a difference of ideologies and beliefs is that Obi-Wan, he was trained to believe this is what Jedi think and this is what Sith think. Okay, so already he has seen the perfect definition of what it means to be a Sith with Anakin, which means in his mind, the way he was taught and what he understands at this time, Anakin is already a Sith. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yet, when Obi-Wan is talking to him right now, literally the only thing he's talking about is the Jedi Order, the Republic, and that bullshit that they've been feeding you with the Jedi Council, man. Of course he's going to be like, oh yeah, I don't want nothing a part of that either, because you're all corrupt as well. But before we dive more into that, it's time, Trey. It's time.
It's time?
Do you see who's here?
Oh,
it's time.
It's like, it's time. Yeah. It's time for what? What is Corey about to do? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the panel. He is our Lord Master, Skywalker the Jedi. Skywalker, what's up, big fella?
Yo, own people. I am here to bring balance to the Force. You know what I'm saying?
First, evil the playing field.
First, I had to expose Trey for being a liar. You know what I'm saying? That is what I had to do first, and now I got to come back with Super Bro Corey in this revisionist history. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Anakin was too far gone, yo. He was about to do something to Padme, yo. Like, if Obi-Wan wouldn't have been there, Anakin was 100% gonna do something to Padme, yo. He was looking for a reason to force choke her in the first place.
Just say one more thing, bitch.
Never tried
this before. This was slowly going down a path that was gonna lead to violence. This dude has just killed all them young ladies.
But I think we can still all agree there's still conflict with Anakin. Anakin keeps from the very beginning, it's like, oh, we can overthrow Palpatine and do the Empire the right way, which is a topic I think we'll get to eventually, Trey, with Anakin.
Personally, at that point, I think that Anakin was where he really had lost the plot, because he knows Padme doesn't agree with that version of politics or that way of lifestyle thinking. So why would he even think that would be a good idea to say it to her?
Exactly. The Emperor at that time
he was actually
so much.
We can rule the galaxy, like it was off his nut. Do you know what I mean? We can do this. She's quite clearly at that point completely lost the plot.
I would say personally, at this point in time, Anakin was the most lost. This point in time, he was the most lost. He just did some horrific things that really pushed him over to the dark side. We're starting to see those Sith eyes come out. Those old yellow eyes.
The hubris show, like, look, even with what he told Padme, like, it was still about himself and his own power, right? He's like, yeah, like, I can overthrow the Chancellor, right? Which he couldn't have done anyway back then. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, he might have ended up getting off if he would have tried that anyway. So
definitely, the Emperor would have kicked his ass.
But this show is specifically questioning: did Obi-Wan give up on Anakin too easily? And I would say at that thing that we just watched from Trey, once again, we see Obi-Wan not listening to Anakin. He's being critical of him, and he just doesn't understand.
But does he not understand Anakin enough to know that he's so headstrong that at this point there is nothing he could say that would change his mind?
I don't know if I entirely believe that.
I have a question. Growing up, were one of you guys like a really big Obi-Wan fan? Yo, see, I already know how this started.
Yeah.
You know?
This argument sounds
us with our family issues.
This sounds like an old argument.
Which is funny because it wasn't always, as we kind of said earlier, Sky, that like I used to agree with Corey on it. Even me being a huge Obi-Wan fan, I used to agree with Corey, but it hasn't been until recently, like with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, that
I do understand what Corey's saying about that moment that he showed himself. I do get what he's trying to get at, but I think Anakin was. I think that Anakin was well gone by that time anyway, and he would have went for Padme, and to be honest with you, I think he would have done a lot worse if Obi-Wan had showed up, because it would have given him the opportunity to do more damage. Obi-Wan slowed him down.
Because she's defenseless, right? Like, there's nothing that she could really do to stop him, right? And she even said, right, that was kind of the genesis of, her even dying. She's saying, like, yo, like, you're breaking my heart, right? She was really heartbroken, and this dude just kept going, and he's like, yo, nah, like, but I can do this, and, this isn't about love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, like, hey, Anakin was too far gone, yo.
Yeah, and there's also another theory floating around about that at the time, the Emperor actually took Padme's life force, and it was all a big trick. It wasn't actually Anakin that killed her at all. She just passed out. The Emperor actually took the life force from a distance on purpose to really wind Anakin up. And it was actually him that caused her death.
Yeah, and his smile when Vader's screaming no would suggest that, right? That's
definitely. It was, you can imagine the Emperor doing something like that. Just taking enough of life force to, and she did die silly, unexplained, heart died of, broken heart. But where maybe it was just the Emperor, and mixed with Anakin's force choke. I think that sounds pretty plausible.
As Julian, go back to Julian Anderson here. So Julian says, I would be most convinced by evidence that Annie did what he did for himself and his own fear or loss, or because he legitimately was trying to save her from what he foresaw. So that's an interesting thing, right? Like, and this is something that I personally have struggled with, this whole storyline of that. like did not so much that did Anakin truly love Padme. I think he was just so manipulated by the Emperor that he couldn't think straight. But that scene that we just watched would suggest that he completely like forgets what Padme is all about. Throughout Attack of the Clones, throughout Clone Wars, she's always been peaceful, diplomatic. Like, let's figure out a peaceful solution to. She throughout Clone Wars tried to figure out ways to stop the war before it was even possible of it being over. You know. And Anakin was very much, you know, war strong. You know, he's like war
let's go
heavy.
Be galactic conquerors. You know what I'm saying? like
so,
totally goes against. What
was he? I mean, in a way, I think he did love her, but at this moment, being so manipulated by the Emperor, would you guys say that it wasn't so much even of his fear of loss for? Because what does ruling the Empire have to do with anything about saving Padme at that time? You know, with saying I can overthrow the Emperor without learning what the Emperor knows about healing Padme. You know, he's just already in this moment of I can get more control. I'm more powerful. I'll figure it out myself. You know, what? Like, but the Emperor hasn't even taught you how to save her yet. So,
which was supposed to be the one reason why he was trying to work with him anyway, right? Was to save Padme. But at this time, once she gave a little bit of pushback, he's just like, nah, well, I can overthrow him. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, he was all over the place, yo.
That's why he killed Mace Windu, because Mace Windu was going to kill him. You kill the Emperor before he taught Anakin the secret of, you know.
Yeah.
You don't think Anakin would have made Emperor Palpatine teach him? I think he would have.
Does Padme have that time, though? She dies at childbirth. Does he have that time? And yet he's already talking about...
And also, it wasn't in Anakin's power to do that anyway. It was a lie. The Emperor lied to him. Mm-hmm. There was no way he could teach him to do that. Anakin wasn't powerful enough. People have got to understand on the level of how powerful the Emperor is compared to everyone else. To be able to make the Council of Jedi not even be able to use the Force at all on his own, we were talking big time.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the Emperor never learns how to do that power. He put all of his resources into cloning. You know, according to the sequel trilogy, which I don't like to think about, but according to the sequel trilogy, he never figured out the secret. He just been cloning himself.
Yeah. I actually liked Episode 7. I feel like 8 and 9 is where it kind of went off.
Yeah, 7's all right. I've already said that when we said this. Force Awakens was all right, and then I just don't want to go any further because I really fucking hate those movies. Actually, when people say, "Oh, you can't hate something," I actually hate them.
Yeah. Oh no. I agree. Episode 8, I describe it as the most disrespectful experience watching a movie.
Same, man. I'm still, people are going, oh, get over it and all that. Well, I'm not over it.
No.
As I always say, if you like the sequel trilogy, congratulations.
Congratulations.
But like at the same time, I'm like, I'm one of those firm believers that like they kicked out George Lucas, like deserves them right to get the shit that they did.
Yeah, then they had this. Go on. Good, sorry.
Oh, I literally felt personally attacked watching that movie. Right, it was just like at every turn, it was like, hey, all you OG Star Wars fans, like, we don't need you no more. Like, just move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really felt like they used every opportunity that they could to show us that they didn't care about what we really wanted, right? So, I will say that. But, look, back to this Padme thing. She was in a super vulnerable position, seeing as how and she's already pregnant and she's about to give birth. She's heartbroken, and she got force choked. Like, let's not, you know what I'm saying? Let's not lose that point that one of the most powerful Jedi and Sith Lords to ever exist, you know what I'm saying, force choked a pregnant woman, you know what I'm saying? So, hey,
force chokes the woman that he's supposedly trying to save. He gave it all up for her. And he force chokes her. That says something huge that he is gone.
Gone in the head.
Why didn't he force choke Obi-Wan, right? Like, he saw Obi-Wan there, and then he could have force choked him, but nah. You know what I'm saying?
His own wife.
He did it force choke her.
Who's pregnant?
He didn't force choke her until he sees Obi-Wan, realizes that Obi-Wan got her against him. That in his mind, there was no way of him saving Padme or bringing Padme to her because Obi-Wan's clouded her judgment. Then he force choked her.
But hold on, wasn't he already starting to suspect her before that? He said, the Jedi turned against me. Don't you turn against me too?
Yeah, he was debating with her. He was arguing with her.
But that already he is conflicted. The love of his life that forced him to kill kids.
He didn't put his force a little choke on her until he saw Obi-Wan.
He was losing it anyway.
Hey, but why didn't he choke Obi-Wan though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because he's going to kill Obi-Wan. He's going to kill Obi-Wan now. He's going to force choke her asleep, and now he's going to kill Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan.
Jack, man.
But okay, so we go through the fight scene. Obi-Wan has the high ground. He chops off everything. Just gives a nice little, he's good at chopping things. That's chopping flesh. That's what he does for a living. So Anakin is obviously in a defeated point in time now. Would Obi-Wan have done him any justice by not leaving Anakin there, taking him with him and Padme? Okay. And while he's in the Bacta tank, he sees Padme giving kiss, and he's still going to be armless, floating around.
Okay, so that's interesting that you bring that up, Corey. So let's play a few clips so to kind of get people back into that place to see what you're talking about to help either support your case or to maybe for other people to make the decision the other way. So let's play this first clip here of Anakin. This is about his ideology with the Jedi. Okay, so point right there of that Anakin is clearly manipulated by what the Emperor has taught him.
But so is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is manipulated by the Jedi
Sure,
Order.
He's definitely brainwashed by the Jedi that the Jedi can do no absolute wrong.
Yeah, and they did tons of wrong.
Yeah. So let me play this next clip now. Now, this one I really want to dive in deep to because I'm not sure if you guys have heard about the book that was based on the entire Revenge of the Sith, making of the Revenge of the Sith. And supposedly there's a deleted scene with this clip that no one has seen, except for obviously George Lucas and the editors. But let's first show the actual theatrical clip, and then let's talk about the deleted scene, because it actually works, I believe, in your favor, Corey. So here. Okay. So Corey, this is the particular scene that you've been talking about, right?
Yeah. So obviously... Yeah, I hear you, Trey. Trey might be having some issues, but yes, he's clearly has some hate going on right now. You see it in the eyes. The hate's flowing through him, which is expected, Trey. If you chopped off my arms and legs, I'd be pretty pissed off as well. But that being said, so they're going back and forth. They're talking to each other. I get that. Did Obi-Wan mess up by leaving Anakin there?
Let's start with Skywalker, then Savage. Let's hear your guys' case on that with Corey.
All right. So now we're supposed to bring one of the most dangerous Force users ever known to ever exist. After he just killed a bunch of younglings, you know what I'm saying? He just force choked his girlfriend. He's been part of this galactic coup to take everything over. And now I'm supposed to bring this dude back on the ship? No, man. No. He still had an arm, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trusting this dude, Joe. Yeah, no way. Look, I think in hindsight, he might have felt like he did the wrong thing, which kind of played itself out through the Obi-Wan show. But no, after watching that movie, I did not feel like he did the wrong thing at all. I'm not touching that dude. I'm not about to go help him. I'm not going to go pick this guy up after what he just did. You know what I'm saying? No
guys, I think the stream has gone unavailable.
The stream went unavailable. We got copy strike finally down, Trey.
Boom.
Really? After all that?
We got striked down by the Emperor.
Oh,
So
dear.
I see what
Does that mean we're not live now then?
we're not
Technically
live.
not.
No.
So I say
Oh,
what
shit.
we could do is we could restart one real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's. What a bunch of punks! Literally, like they let me play a 10-minute clip from last stream, but they don't let this shit. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. We'll restart one. Trey, you want to start one up real quick, and then we'll invite everybody back in.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to end this broadcast.
Okay, sounds good. What we may do, guys, is also like kind of edit it, clip out whatever they had issues with, and then, put it back on for later. But what a bunch of I bet. Oh, so was that strike number 2?
Wait. Yeah, it could have been.
Oh no! Now it's showing up.
Oh, are we back on?
Oh,
It's just-
hey. Are we back? Give us a we're back. Oh, we're
Can you
back.
see us, guys, in the chat? Can you see us now?
So
Because we're a criminal.
You're working against my case.
He's a criminal.
Squad.
Say, you damn right, Savage man.
Well, guys, welcome back. That was weird.
I think right before we cut off, we had just gone to Skywalker and we were talking about would you bring Anakin back on your ship with you, and you were giving a compelling argument that you would, Sky. I believe is what you're trying to say.
Yo, like I'm not even getting close to that guy, yo. Like after what he just did and how powerful he is, yo. Right? If you're Obi-Wan, he almost killed you, right? I mean, he could have possibly killed you too. So it's like, I'm about to go pick this guy up and carry him to the ship. Man, no, yo, this dude just killed all the younglings. It's a wrap for that guy. It's a wrap. Whatever happened to him happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you get. That's karma.
Yeah.
All right, Savage Bat, what you think about it?
Hashtag Corey is wrong. No, I've just got completely lost where we was at, really. To be honest with you.
Look, are you bringing Anakin back on your ship, yo? After what just happened, you know what I'm saying?
No, he would have done some. He would have done some really bad shit to her.
Are you gonna put him in the BAFTA tank, right? Just feet away from Padme, where he's just trying to force Joker? You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no way, boy.
No, I don't think they'd be passengers together, really. After all that, and just thinking about it, like it wouldn't make any sense, and not to mention, like Darth Vader's not going to have gone with Obi-Wan, and and the Emperor would have gone after them as well, so it would have ended up in the same situation anyway, and Obi-Wan probably would have been killed by the Emperor as well, so. It was a good job that it did play out the way it did, really, because there's no way Obi-Wan would stand a chance against the Emperor. He wasn't even as powerful as Windu, and the Emperor, blasted him to pieces. So, yeah.
I'm gonna hit Oracle's Clock Tower super chat real quick. Hopefully, we don't get hit with it.
I know. Now I'm like, oh shit.
We're not messing with DC punks right now. We're messing with Disney, and they don't mess around, Trey. So, hey,
wait, DC will let us do this, right? But not you, Mickey Mouse, mother.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Don't mess with the mouse, people. Don't mess with the mouse, yo. That mouse is serious.
We come before you.
I'm trying to promote your shit here, Disney.
Come for the mouse. That's come correct.
I expect some money after this.
Hey, if you come for the if you come for the mouse, you better not miss. You know what I'm saying?
I'm coming for that mouse. But
keep this shit up, or I swear I will talk so much trash about Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I will go watch it just to talk trash about it because I don't even want to watch that movie. But if y'all don't leave this stream alone, I'm gonna go watch that movie and I'm gonna trash it.
Like you've been warned, Disney. So if you try to strike my shit down again, I will return with vengeful theory.
Well, here
Do
we
not
go.
underestimate the power of the dark side.
Arthur Scott Carrot, this is for you, buddy.
This is where the fun begins.
But okay, so here's what I'm going to say. And there's an interesting, I blame George Lucas, here for where is it? Let's see. Somebody said it, but Trey, let's see here. Well, somebody said there's a part in that clip there that said you hear Anakin Skywalker. So obviously we have the hate in the eyes. He just got his arms and legs chopped off and all that stuff. He's crawling up. There's hate, but he at some point as he's getting burned, he yells, "Help me!" Right? In one of the extended clips or the clips that they just want to. Oh, Anakin is completely lost. Let's clip that out. Some fine editing, George Lucas. He was on the right track to be good again.
I wonder if any of those younglings were screaming "Help me" while Anakin was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say, yes, the Batman Who Laughs says, "Help me, Master." They should have kept that, and I think that's an interesting point because if they did that right there, I feel like okay, he walks off like Obi-Wan should because he feels like he's lost. You can see it in his eyes, but then you get the "Help me, Master." I feel like if I was Obi-Wan and Trey, you're my brother, I'm going to pick your ass up. I'm going to put you in this little forced prison. I'm going to put you in the baptist tank and be like, hey, have you see Padme, she's having kids and all that. There's some things that I feel like that we could be like showing him to be like, no, Palpatine's the asshole. Let's get you back. The Jedi wasn't right either. I'm not going to disagree with what you're saying. I'm going to get off that high ground there and saying that the Jedi Council was 100% right. But I feel like that could have been an opportune moment to potentially help guide Anakin back to the right side.
Okay, so I know what part you're talking about. So there was a deleted scene, and we learned about this from the book by J.W. Rinsler, who did the making of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. And he talks about in that book a particular extended cut of that scene. And it says, I'm going to read a little piece of it, but essentially Revenge of the Sith deleted scene, a cry for help. The scene where Obi-Wan defeats Anakin was originally slightly longer and included additional dialogue between the two men. After everything what happened between them on Mustafar, and after everything Anakin has done, Obi-Wan's first impulse is to reach out to help the man who became his brother, and Anakin's first impulse is to reach out to Obi-Wan for help. Anakin's cry for help, together with his outstretched hand, is actually left intact in the movie. Even though the sound was muted, you can see Hayden Christensen's lips clearly pronouncing the words, I think it was essentially, "Help me, Master." Christensen groans to get into character and then gives an emotional delivery of the two lines, "Help me, Master." And then, of course, Obi-Wan says, "I love you, but I can't help you." Which was then turned into, as we saw, "I loved," past tense, I loved you. So yes. Okay. So essentially they're kind of referring
They're just playing with the scripts now. Just putting in this piece. Great editing, George Lucas.
I had both of those books. There was that one, but there was one before that I shouldn't have bought. And it actually had pictures of Darth Vader on the operating table having his legs put on.
Yeah.
And I really could have done without seeing that. But I really did enjoy reading it. But it kind of did spoil it a bit because that was one of the best bits of the movie. When he's screaming in pain,
Yeah.
And, I had both of them back in the day.
Yeah. So essentially, Corey, the deleted scene would suggest to you that there was an opportunity here. Possibly. There was possibly an opportunity here. But we never got to see it because George Lucas decided to go in a different direction, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had to, kind of, right?
Well, I mean, essentially, we have to, because that was not ever shown, we can't accept that as canon, right? We can't accept that as that's what happened, and we didn't get to see it.
He was lipping it, though. He was lipping it,
yes, he
Obi-Wan should have known
force-wise.
Oh, he's saying help me. He should have known in his little force mind,
his little force mind, Obi-Wan just reads Anakin saying, please, master, please help me. I'm burning here.
He should have known that there was some good in him still there.
I don't know. It's pretty noisy on Mustafar with all that volcano and that kind of.
I don't even think that that's still good. I feel like at the end, he's just trying to save himself, which is what this thing was all about in the first place, man. It's like, yo, he was just, everything was about himself, his own power. And then when he faced his own mortality right there in front of him, he did the one thing that he thought would try to, you know what I'm saying, save him some more time. And it's like, hey, I'm going to call out to Obi-Wan after I just force choked Padme and killed all these younglings, you know what I'm saying, and tried to kill you, right? But save me now. You know what I'm saying? And now that I wasn't successful in trying to kill you, but you were successful in mortally wounding me, save me now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, was Vader trying to, was he trying to trick Obi-Wan, Corey? I mean, you have to ask that, because look how quickly, Obi-Wan's not going to help him, and it's instantly, I hate you. I want you dead.
What if he turned around and then started trying to go back and help him, and Anakin force choked him and threw him in a yo, you don't know. It could have been whatever, yo. This dude was trying his absolute best to
lies, deceit, and creating mistrust. That's the way of the dark side.
But he wasn't 100% full Sith ways at that point too, as well. So
he was 99.5.
He was 99.
Hey, he was about as much as a damn Sith Lord as they claim that hand sanitizer kills germs. They claim that 100%.
Just missing that 0.0.
Yo, just to save themselves in any type of litigation, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, but he's pretty far gone, yo.
So I will give you guys the fact that it wasn't in the actual scene, so it can't be considered canon. But let's fast forward a little bit, okay? Let's come on to this new Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Trey.
Okay.
Let's get there.
So hold on, before we actually hit that, are you suggesting that you basically agree with us at this point so far that yes,
I would
Anakin
say
was too far gone?
I would say yes-ish, but I would love to see a fan service alternate, timeline. What happens if he took Anakin back? Because this is the first time Obi-Wan lets the Force, the will of the Force, do it. He probably should have killed. I'm sorry. He probably should have killed Anakin there.
He definitely should have finished the job if that was the mission. But I think, unfortunately, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, Obi-Wan, I think he just could never do it. I think he could never just kill Anakin. Corey's on the ropes right now. Skywalker just shouted that he's trying to get people hyped, like get him.
You watch. I'm coming in hot this next part, though.
Oh,
this next
Corey.
part, I'm coming in hot.
Coming in hot, huh, Corey?
I'm coming in hot.
Okay, so Corey, I'll let you. So you basically said, like, I'll say it's like you're kind of like agreeing with us for this first part, but you say you're coming in hot in the second part. Go ahead, let's start. Let's finish your second issue.
I want to feel this heat. I want to feel the heat, Corey.
All right.
Mustafar when Anakin's lighting up on fire.
You don't want that smoke, Sky. You don't want that smoke.
He's asking for it. He's clearly asking for it. All right, Super Bro Corey, give it to us.
All right. So I feel like the next part that we should probably get to is obviously the next big fight scene. Would you say that's fair, Trey?
Yeah, so you're talking about the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series?
Yeah, the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series. Obviously, we did a few reviews on that, and as well as with the music. I think we all could agree, the part that I'm going to jump to first is the first portion of the fight. They're going at each other. Vader appears to have won, per se. He's dropping the hammer on him, dropping them rocks on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. He turns around and walks away. He's still, if he's strong with the Force, he should have been able to sense that Obi-Wan was still alive down there. But he walked away. Did he not really want to kill Obi-Wan there?
I think that's purely ego with Darth Vader. I think Darth Vader just assumed, like every evil mastermind, right? Dr. Evil. No, I'm just going to assume it all went to plan. What? I think in this case, Vader just assumed. I mean, he says it, right? Like, did you really think you were going to defeat me? Like, no, I'm Vader, and just walked off because I'm the greatest shit since sliced bread. That's my opinion. Let's start with Skywalker and then do Savage.
Hubris, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the word that I keep coming back to, is hubris, yo. I feel like, that was really what was Anakin's downfall, and it was what it was his downfall as well after he became Darth Vader. And it just showed that he still was the Padawan in that situation. Look, I love talking about this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Corey, you have brought up a great point that has been able to stir a lot of debate, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, look, Anakin was going, man. The hubris was on 1,000, and, that's really what kept leading to his downfall, in my opinion. So.
Okay.
Savage.
Where are we at again?
So specifically, what we said is, Anakin didn't, or Darth Vader didn't kill Obi-Wan for sure.
Oh,
underneath the pile of rocks. Do you think he was letting him live for a reason?
No, I think just Darth Vader probably didn't realize that he wasn't dead.
You think that he didn't? I guess they constantly sense each other throughout, just like he knew Obi-Wan was behind him about to slash him down. So they constantly are sensing each other, messing with each other's minds. You think that Darth Vader didn't realize he didn't kill Obi-Wan underneath all those rocks?
Not that he didn't kill him, but I think he probably thought that's enough. And he's going to die soon anyway, trapped under all that stuff. He's nearly crushed to death, and will probably dwindle away and die very soon. So there was no point in putting any more rocks on him. What more? I think he put enough on him.
Interesting.
So personally, Corey.
What do you think, Trey?
For that, so with that whole scene, I think we're still on the Vader throwing the rock scene.
Yeah.
So I think I already said my piece on that. Like, I think it was just assuming it went to plan, kind of thing. He's too good for ego. But are you ready to get to that? Because I'm sure where you're going to really lay the heat is at the very next part where Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I would say my point to mentioning that is because I think he's giving Obi-Wan another chance to help him later. So
Vader's own way of begging for help. Please, for the love of God, I know I just tried to kill you.
It's a cry for help.
It's a cry for help.
Don't you understand why I killed those kids?
Exactly.
It was a cry for help.
Obi-Wan just never listens and understands. He doesn't understand them, Trey. But yeah, let's get to the next part where the fight resumes and he stops. They're going back and forth, and clearly Obi-Wan is full on with the Force now. He breaks his helmet. He slashes him left and right. He does work on him, and then we come to that just key moment of them talking to each other. Do you have that clip up, Trey, or should we not even play it?
I think we should avoid more clips.
Okay, so Let me see here.
Mickey Mouse just ain't having it today. They're like, dude, do you just want to show the whole Revenge of the Sith film? Do you just want to?
Okay. So then I'll read. I have the script up here because I thought that might be the case. Yeah. So he says Anakin, and Darth Vader says, Anakin is gone. I am what remains. He says, I'm sorry, Anakin, for all of it. And then Vader goes, I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. The same way I will destroy you. Then my friend is truly dead. Goodbye, Darth. Obi-Wan. That. I did want to say one more thing, too, about the last scene. He refers to Obi-Wan as Master, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out again.
That's true.
He refers to him as Master quite a bit. So I did forget to make that mention there too.
But now here he is once again referring to him as Master, trying to kill him.
But clearly we're starting to see now the eyes flicker from the third episode where his eyes were complete Sith. Now we're starting to see conflict in them, going from Jedi Anakin eyes to Sith Vader eyes, back and forth. What do you think those changing eyes meant? Do you think that he was conflicted with everything that was going on?
Let's do once again. Start with Skywalker, then Savage, and then I'll go.
Okay.
My only memory of him referring to him as Master in any type of capacity was him saying that he felt like he was no longer his master and that he was the master now. Is my memory incorrect on that? Because I don't remember him calling him Master during that last scene.
Doesn't he say like goodbye, Master?
Yeah, he says goodbye, Master.
After Darth Vader like threw all the rocks on Obi-Wan, he's like, "Did you really think you can beat me? Goodbye, Master." It's something like that.
Okay, hey, cool. All right, now if I didn't notice the eye part either, right? But if it was flickering back and forth, and then I would say that obviously yes, that would be a sign that he was a bit conflicted during that moment.
I told you, ain't ready for all this smoke coming at you, Scott.
Hey,
I told you, buddy.
I feel it. Now, look, I'm going to have to do my homework now because I don't remember seeing that. But, like, if y'all telling me, then I believe y'all, right? So I'm going to have to go back and watch it with this new context. But, even if there is a tad bit of conflict in him, right, you know, I think that it just kind of sets up what happens in Return of the Jedi with him kind of fully coming back. You know, but even still, like, he still kills Obi-Wan after that, right? So, you know, like, I don't know what it's all worth at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I don't think it made any difference. I think personally, it was partly he just got his arse handed to him again, slashed in the face, slashed in the back. You know, having to admit defeat maybe reminded him a little bit of the human Anakin side of himself, a little bit of sort of confusion, and I don't know, like a bit you know, like after a boxer's been knocked the crap out of. You know, Vader was at that point, really, I think there. So that could explain that. But yeah, he went on to kill Obi-Wan and he murdered that, you know, he's done plenty that we haven't even seen yet, but even the hallway scene at the end of Rogue One, you know, he's a ruthless bastard, Darth Vader, and there was no bringing him back at that point.
So before we get to you, Trey, since you guys have watched the Clone Wars or maybe it's Rebels, a former or Padawan of Anakin, also, from my understanding, gets into a fight with
Ahsoka,
Darth Vader. Ahsoka, and she also slices off the other half of his Vader helmet.
Yes.
His eyes stayed Sith yellow the entire time, right?
I believe it did.
Yeah,
I don't think his eyes were ever regular during that scene.
Obi-Wan is really the first person that he's seeing that is drawing that conflict from being Anakin eyes back to, you know, Vader eyes, going back and forth. That's an interesting
Yeah, me
statement.
salivating, Corey.
That,
Me like ready
that
to
was
go.
a long time afterwards as well.
Yeah.
And at that point, with Ahsoka and Darth Vader actually turned around and threatened to kill Ezra if she didn't comply. If you would not tell me, then perhaps this child would know. He was going to kill Ezra just to because I dare say the word, to be a very nasty person.
Yeah, and like, look, I think that the whole conflict thing with Obi-Wan, right, is that, you know, it just shows that when it comes to this person, he's not rational, right? Like, and why would he be? He kind of sees Obi-Wan as the one that was responsible for him losing his family, and so I think that that is going to be where that conflict kind of stems from, and it just shows that when it comes to him, he cannot be reasonable, right?
Okay.
If you see, he was willing to really give up a sure victory just to go follow Obi-Wan anyway, right? In this same series, and so, and hey, he was dead set on getting to him when he saw him in episode 4 too, right? So it has been the same consistent theme that when it comes to him, he just can't really see past what he feels.
Yeah, and even the Emperor brought that up and said, "No more Obi-Wan. Come on, it's time to move on." And even the Inquisitors and the people that in the Empire were like, "This is like Darth Vader's little personal vendetta. We're supposed to be taking over the galaxy here, not killing one Jedi that just happens to have a past with this nutcase that's dressed in a black robot suit." Because people actually, if you look into the lore of it, that they were kind of like shady about Darth Vader. The people that worked for the Empire, they were like, "Who is this robot guy? He's strange." Yeah. It took a while for, and that's why he used to go around killing them all, because he knew that they didn't like him.
I guess, and we'll get to you here in a second, Trey. I'm gonna lay out some things, and I do have some questions about if Obi-Wan tried maybe some different tactics for the panel, if that would have potentially helped the outcome of moving into the next things. But here's what I saw from episode 6, kind of rewatching and everything like that. Obviously, his eyes were changing back and forth, showing that there's internal conflict of Anakin fighting Darth Vader within. So that mental game of them going back and forth, he is not completely sold on the Sith ideas, and is not completely sold on the Anakin ideas as well. So we're seeing some major, Anakin's remembering the good times with Obi-Wan during these times. There's a lot of emotions that are coming out of Vader during this time. Now, I think we all pretty much agreed that Emperor Palpatine knew the game plan the entire time of creating things like that. You guys have all mentioned that. Now, that to me, by you guys saying that, reconfirms to me even more that there is still good in Vader with Anakin. And I'm going to read to you guys what at the very end, at the end, Darth Vader says, "The probes are tracking every system within range. We will destroy everything in our path until he is found." Obi-Wan. So he still wants to go after Obi-Wan. Emperor Palpatine says, "You seem agitated, my friend." Vader says, "He will not evade me again." Doesn't say anything about kill him. But then the Emperor says, "I wonder if your thoughts are clear on this, Lord Vader. Perhaps your feelings, your old master has left you weakened. If your past cannot be overcome," he gets cut off, and Vader interrupts and says, "Kenobi means nothing to I serve you, my master." Now, to me, by the Vader cutting him off, he's also a little scared of the Emperor. So he's saying, "Oh, okay, no, I need to show him my focus. I don't have any feelings to Obi-Wan," which Obi-Wan has brought out to me, and showing that there's actually, the Emperor knows that there's conflict of Anakin versus Vader inside of him. That's why Emperor said what he said. Now, for that ought to take place. And the eyes changing and everything like that, I think that Obi-Wan also knew that there was some good in Anakin, even though he said goodbye, Vader. And I think Obi-Wan did give up Anakin a little too easily. I think there's some things that he potentially could have done, because Obi-Wan said, this ends now. And to me, that means kill him or bring him back. Obi-Wan did none of those things, and he failed miserably again at the very end. Anakin could have been saved there. There's some things that I'd like to say. What if he tried this? What if he tried that? But what are your first thoughts on what I said there, with even the Emperor knowing that his old master has revealed Anakin back and is drawing on some of those good strings again with Anakin?
You're starting with me or Savage?
Let's start. You know what? Let's start with Savage.
Okay.
Yeah, I get you. I see what you're saying, but just to be honest with you, the whole Darth Vader and Obi-Wan situation is a touchy subject, and everyone could see that, and the fact that Obi-Wan beat him as well. I think that it was this. Why that was such an emotional, impactful scene when Obi-Wan apologised and Darth Vader kind of said. It doesn't matter. It wasn't your fault. I did this. It brought some closure to it, and I think that was the point of why Obi-Wan said, "You know what? I can't even bother with you anymore," and walked off. And I thought that was the whole point of that. To be honest with you,
Sky.
Hey guys, I think Corey really wants this to be Obi-Wan's fault, yo. He really wants to blame Obi-Wan. Look, like, I think that, hey, it showed, like, yo, Vader, his mind was immediately back on Obi-Wan. Afterwards, he's like, yo, I gotta find him. And absolutely, the Emperor does sense that conflict within him, right? I just thought that, hey, Vader kind of doubling down on, hey, I'm going to drop this for now. It did show that he is like, hey, he is the Padawan to the Emperor's, the master, right? And he was trying to pretty much appease his master. That conflict is still there, but as we saw, it was only Luke Skywalker that was able to bring him out of that. Obi-Wan was not going to be that person, and I feel like Obi-Wan can't kill Anakin. He can't kill his old Padawan, when in all reality he probably should have, right? But I think that that's part of his weakness, is that in his heart he just can't find it in himself to be able to actually go through with it, right? So those are my thoughts on it.
I think that's what makes Obi-Wan, in a sense, maybe one of the most perfect definitions of a Jedi, because he followed through on everything. I mean, he gave up Sabine because of no attachments, right? I mean, he said he would have if he would have known that Sabine like truly loved him, but then he would have given up the Jedi life. But because he stuck the course and he said, I'm a Jedi through and through, everything he's done since that moment has always been the perfect definition of a Jedi, pretty much.
Wrong. You can't say that, though.
How can I not say that? He didn't kill Anakin.
No, but he allows for Anakin to break the Jedi code on a
that doesn't make him a
basis.
bad Jedi. That just makes him.
Is he not teaching Anakin the ways of the Force? He's being a bad.
Hold on, Corey. But that's like saying, okay, because Obi-Wan led him to water and didn't force Anakin to drink the water, he's a shitty teacher.
No, it's basically he knows that there's some criminal activity going on in the background. I'm not going to say
it's not a crime
against the Jedi code. Having possession.
It's not a crime, though. But I mean, does it make Anakin not a Jedi? Yeah, but at the same time, are people not bending the rules because he's supposedly the chosen one, right? Like we got to. He's going to destroy the Sith. He's our secret weapon. really is a secret weapon for the Sith at the same time too. But to get back, Corey, to your whole first couple of arguments and topics, with the eyes flipping back and forth. Yes, there is internal conflicts going on in Vader, and I've often said this during our Obi-Wan Kenobi the series review, that if they do decide to do a Darth Vader spin-off, the way to do it would be to show a psychological thriller of Anakin trying to break through, but Vader is this creature in his mind, this shadow that just constantly keeps him, down, keeps him locked up.
And I think that would prove my theory even more 100% right.
I would say it would prove your theory wrong, because Darth Vader is clearly too powerful for Anakin. He's beating Anakin at every turn. While there's internal conflict, Darth Vader does not let him go.
I agree with what you said, but Obi-Wan is stronger than Vader, so he should have been able to do it.
Hey guys, I think that this argument that's been going on over here with these two, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, yo.
Yeah,
I can tell. This is
like this
is a long time argument.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But hey, look, I just don't think it's Obi-Wan's fault, right? Like, could he have maybe done some things a bit differently? Right? Yes. But I think in the end, it only would have been them losing Anakin slower. I think Anakin was going to turn regardless. There was way too much hubris, yo.
Yeah.
That was part of the reason why Obi-Wan apologized for him, because he admitted that he did make mistakes on Anakin's part.
For sure. And I'm definitely not saying by any means that Anakin doesn't have any part to blame in the whole him becoming a Vader. He was the person in the suit, right? He has a lot to blame for. This is, did Obi-Wan give up on Anakin too easily? Now, I'm going to throw some things out there to you guys, and I'm curious, again, would any of these things have helped maybe at that point, because we're seeing the conflict between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and we're not going to think about Luke. We're not necessarily what happens in 4, 5, and 6, okay? So, if Obi-Wan, was kind of finally starting to understand him and listen to what, Vader or Anakin is saying right there, what do you think would have happened if this is going to be my first point, but I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. What would have happened if he mentioned that he has kids out there, at that point, as he sees the Anakin eyes, that Padme still lives within his kids? What are your thoughts on that first?
I'll jump in this one real quick, because I'm simply just going to say he would have done exactly what he was planning on doing. The Emperor, he found out he had kids, and what did the Emperor do? The Emperor controls Vader. He's very much what Emperor says goes with Darth Vader, right? Because
he would have kidnapped them and turned them both to the dark side, and then there would have been murders, more murders.
Okay. I hear what you're saying there. So there is a possibility to that. I think it may have been an opportune moment to kind of help bring out the Anakin side of things. But the one thing that I've always wondered about, since we saw the episodes, episode 6, is constantly throughout the show we were waiting for Qui-Gon Jinn, Force Ghost, to appear. Okay, let's rewrite Star Wars right now. What do you think would have happened?
Okay, Disney.
Okay,
Ryan Johnson.
What do you guys?
Johnson.
I'm curious what the panel as well as the chat would think if, during that time of conflict of Anakin and Obi-Wan, or Anakin and Vader, what if Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghosts appeared there for them both to see? Not knowing about 4, 5, and 6, what do you think would have happened if Qui-Gon Jinn's Force appeared for Anakin and Vader to see? Who would like to start it off? Sky would like to
yo, look, man. Corey gonna make this shit Obi-Wan's fault, yo. Now it's Qui-Gon Jinn's fault. Yo, Qui-Gon Jinn said he was there the whole time, but Obi-Wan was not ready to see him. Now we gonna say that Vader was ready to see him? No, man, of course not.
And not to mention, Obi-Wan said to Luke as well, if you go to face Vader, you will face him alone. So it's basically the rules of Force Ghost. You can't turn up at a pivotal point like that. That's actually a part of it. That's
Okay.
Obi-Wan he said to Luke, I can't get involved if you go to face him. So there you go. So there's no way that could happen.
No way that could have happened.
Yeah.
Hey, and even if it could have, you know what I'm saying? Then, like, I guarantee you that Vader was not ready to see. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, not only that, what shame would have Vader felt then? I mean, here's the truth, Corey. Like, Anakin was warned every opportunity. He was warned from the get-go, that anger leads to hate, fear leads, all that stuff. He was learning exactly everything that Yoda warned him of. He did. He almost seeked it, because that's what he thrived on. And yet he never let go of his fear. In Clone Wars, he was doing some Sith-like things to save Ahsoka, So, and I know you haven't seen Clone Wars, but like, there's just so many evidence of Anakin doing things that were definitely not Jedi-like.
Exactly, but wouldn't that make an interesting argument that maybe Mace Windu should have been the one who and I know Mace Windu had his complaints and things against
Anakin. Now Mace Windu's fault.
No. I'm saying the Jedi Order failed him entirely. I think Obi-Wan did give up on him a little too early, and I think the basis of that all comes around from the Emperor knowing that his feelings for his old master has left him weakened. So really, if he was full on Sith and Vader, that should never have happened, right?
Hey, look, I want to say shout out to Corey. We need Sith sympathizers, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need people that sympathize with the Sith. You know what I'm saying? Because
it wasn't my fault. It was Pegasus the entire time.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is a dope panel, man. Shout out to I'm having so much fun here. You know what I'm saying?
And I would say I'm not a Sith, a simp by any means. I would say. Here's what I've always said to Trey. The Emperor and the Chancellor is a bad dude, and I'm not sure if the Jedi is completely good either. That's one thing I've always kind of wondered, especially watching.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious, really. Yeah. Those indoctrinating young kids into the monastery of the Force.
Spartans,
it was all very wrong, but at the end of the day, that was obvious from the whole. When the Emperor said we're not, the Jedi and the Sith are very much alike, and that is so true, because it's kind of like when two countries are fighting against each other. There's neither are right or wrong, really, in some situations, because if they both stopped fighting, there would be no war. No, and that's just the Jedi and the Sith for you, isn't it?
The Patterson cut of Obi-Wan? I need to check that out. I've heard something about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got that downloaded. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, someone sent me the link to download it.
Can you send me the link as well so I can check that out?
Yeah, I will. Well, after this, I don't know. I'll have to copy and paste it or something.
Okay.
Shoot it to me too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Noel says Qui-Gon represents the cosmic force. Yes, any Force Ghost is a representation of cosmic force. Both Anakin and Obi-Wan were in the moment of the living Force during conflict. Force Ghosts won't show up. Yeah, Noel brings up a very good point that people often overlook too, especially general audience people, is that there are two different sides really of the Force in nature.
So I have another question then. Let's say instead of leaving his ass again on a planet, some crazy ass planet all messed up and stuff, what happens if he took them back? They were living in the sands and the caves again. He hates sand, I know. But what happens if he saw Qui-Gon?
So let me get this straight. You would take him back to the one planet that he purposely does not want to go back to because it's the memories of being a slave, hitting sand, where his mom died, just to try to help him again. That's a crazy ass rehab there. Put the man in a straitjacket.
Out the feelings again. Oh,
Jesus. I think all in all, Corey, when it comes down to it, it's important that Luke Skywalker is the one to bring Vader, Anakin back. As Luke even says, Luke is trying, right, in Return of the Jedi. He's trying to get him back. And even Vader says, Obi-Wan believed as you once did, suggesting that Obi-Wan tried this. So even Anakin deep down knew Obi-Wan was trying to bring him back. But he says, I follow my master, as you will too.
I hear what you're saying, Trey. I think I would just like to point out too that Obi-Wan did a damn good job of trying to turn Reva back to the. Did a better job of trying to turn Reva back to the good side.
Did he really try to turn her back though, or is it he was also kind of using her to his advantage?
10 words.
She was already trying to kill Vader anyway.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
he was just trying to poke the bear on that.
Yeah, I think though he definitely, especially at the very end, he was definitely working on Reva, giving Reva a little bit more time than he did with Anakin. So. And I once again, I think we all can't disagree with the fact that with his eyes changing and the Emperor knowing that perhaps your feelings for your old master has left you weakened, that right there, that tells you that there is conflict in him, enough conflict in him for the Emperor to address.
Well, but I think it's more.
It was Chewie's fault.
It was
Chewie's fault. I mean, I think the Emperor was more referring to like if you stay focused on your, trying to kill your master, then like you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do my bidding. You're going to be focused on that. I mean, look at that. Darth Vader literally probably could have ended the rebels if he destroyed that one ship with even Leia on there because
he could have.
I mean, if he takes out Leia, then the rebels really in the future aren't really shit, so.
but the question of the entire law, and it's not whose fault or anything like that, is did Obi-Wan give up on Anakin too easily?
No, he did not. No,
I don't think so.
It's a no for me.
Don't think so. Interesting.
So Corey, are you still yes that Obi-Wan gave up? Like you're 100%. You guys are completely wrong. I'm right on this.
Oh yeah. I do think that Obi-Wan gave up on it too easily. If the Emperor knows everything that's going on, then why would he specifically say perhaps your feelings for your old master has left you weakened?
Shout out to Retro Nerd Girl. She's best comments tonight. She mentioned it earlier about I can't remember what it was she said exactly, but about if Obi-Wan hadn't have left at that point, he would have been not going to look after Luke, potentially been killed by the fleet of ships that was waiting while they had the fight. So at that point, Obi-Wan did need to leave. As we see at the end when he talks to Qui-Gon, I've got better things to do than be fucking around fighting Darth Vader now. I've got to look after these children and do the right thing.
Yeah.
Instead of smashing up my old apprentice, which I've done twice already. Do you know what I mean? The game's over.
Yeah. And in a way, you could say that maybe in Obi-Wan's wise and connection with the Force at that moment, that maybe, just maybe, he had foresight to know that it was no longer his fight, that it would eventually become Luke's and Leia's fight, that they would be the one to achieve what he could not, to bring
the
him
wider
back to
picture.
life. Yeah. Because
Obi-Wan,
that's
Retro Nerd Girls again. Yeah.
But that's still a little shitty that Obi-Wan's going to be like, I'm going to make your kid take care of my mess.
Who would have a better chance?
No, but look, and Retro No Girl just said Obi-Wan risked this like two times trying to save Anakin.
That's it.
Fool me once, shame on me.
Did he though?
Shame on you.
He tried, Corey.
Did he though? Did he try that?
Does he not know
Yeah,
Anakin the
yeah.
best to know that when Anakin has his mind set on something that he's just going to follow through?
But Obi-Wan's mindset and Obi-Wan the series was that this ends now, meaning that he was going to straight up murk the dude.
But he couldn't at the end of it, and he really could have, right? But he
Probably
couldn't.
should have.
That's what I'm
isn't
saying.
that the
He
proof of
should've.
Obi-Wan's hope in the Force that maybe there is potential, that there is something
Some
left
chance.
good
No,
because of what
I
Padme
just
said.
think-
There's
no.
still good in him.
No,
Exactly.
I just think he cannot kill his, you know what I'm saying, like his Padawan like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more where that comes from. But it's just like at the end of the day, they just kind of have this battle, and you know he knows that hey, he's gone. He just told you, like, look, you didn't
It's
do
over.
it, I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I killed Anakin. You know what I'm saying? So you know, Anakin's dead, and he's like, oh, all right, cool. I'm just gonna walk away. And
I've had enough. I've had enough of you. But bye.
He said, look, I killed
yeah.
your father. He even told that to Luke later. You know
But
what I'm saying?
Obi-Wan's not in tune with the Force enough to realize, oh, when I was fighting with you back on that lava planet, your eyes were completely yellow, and George Lucas cut out "Help Me, Master."
No,
And-
you can't act as if that's canon.
Okay, I won't say that's canon, but now I'm seeing your eyes flicker back and forth from Anakin and not, and now I'm going to leave you because there might be good in you still.
The fleet is right there. Like we have to go. You know, like,
I mean, Corey, you also have
That's
to
what I was
realize
trying to get at.
Obi-Wan is no longer living for himself anymore. He
No,
is
he's to
living
look
for
after the children. The
And
children is his mission.
Which is why the fact that the Palpatine says that there's still he still has feelings for his master. Plus that you add on that Obi-Wan didn't kill him because Obi-Wan should have killed him, man.
Hold on. Do you actually think, though, because this could have been on his mind, too, that I'm going to go back and I'm going to train this kid, Luke, and then I'm going to just randomly bring up one day, yeah, I accidentally killed your dad.
No, because then he's like, I killed Vader. I killed Vader. I didn't kill
You
your
don't
dad.
think he would have found out who Anakin is one day?
No, who Vader was? Yes. He
Yeah,
would have
who
found
Vader
out.
is?
Yes.
Yeah, that like Vader
Yeah.
with Anakin Skywalker? Come on, man.
Yeah,
he would've.
Yeah.
On top of that, right, Obi-Wan is still gonna feel somewhat responsible for this whole thing in the first place. And so that's another reason why he would not.
That's why he apologized.
I
looking
can't.
to kill him.
I hear what you're saying, but I can't remember who said it in one of our previous chats that anything that Vader does from here on out is literally Obi-Wan's fault. The fact that Obi-Wan let him live, the freaking
I think that was
See,
bad.
and I told y'all,
Alderaan?
blame Obi-Wan, yo. Blame Obi-Wan.
Blame Obi-Wan.
Yeah, this brings us back to the why doesn't Batman kill the Joker though? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's you know,
It's a very similar situation. That's a great
that's different
comparison.
a little bit though too as well, because one was a Padawan, one was not. Batman should definitely kill the Joker, but besides the point.
In Justice League 2, he made with
sympathizers, you know.
Yeah. It's obvious what's going on here.
No, but hey,
don't let this guy in the temple, yo. You know what I'm saying? Don't let this guy in the temple.
Keep him away. Corey's getting, man, see,
I think
No access for the Jedi archives.
let's just see what happens here. Corey, hold on. This is a test. I just want to see something real quick.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
Roger.
I knew it. See,
No,
triggered.
I think we would all agree that Obi-Wan should have killed Anakin, right? Or Vader.
So hold on. So now you agree that Obi-Wan couldn't have saved Anakin, so he should just kill him.
No, I'm saying by your guys' theories, then there's without a doubt in my mind, Obi-Wan should have killed Vader.
No. Because it's not in his nature. I don't think he should have, but that's why he didn't.
He went to that fight knowing that this ends now. What did that mean?
he wanted to face it, to fight, for this, maybe he can bring it back, maybe he can't. But then Darth Vader just proved that he was completely off his rocker, and there was no saving him. So he smashed him up a little bit, said, bye, I just beat you again. That's 2 in a row. And I've got more important things to do.
Yeah, he was a distraction to get Leia to safety. And not only that, in a way, you could say
what his goal is.
Overcoming his fear, his guilt, all things that lead to the dark side. This released him from all that.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but Zod Rider's yelling in the chat right now. I say no. The reason is really simple. The Lucasfilm people messed it up. Wait till you all see the Patterson cut. Oh my God! And he said Obi-Wan should not have killed Vader. No, guys, you seriously will see.
Okay.
He did. Zod Rider said we should do a watch party for this.
I agree with this. Would you guys be game to do a watch party of this Patterson cut?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll definitely do that because
I'll just check my
message going to shut
it's...
Corey up, and I'm happy to do that right now.
Hey, Zod, will it help prove my theory a little bit more right?
No, don't. Zod, do not tell us that.
Probably.
Initial reaction, we want it to all come in, naturally.
Bow down to Zod, boys.
Okay, so as we come down to the end here, because I know Savage has a big show that he's doing tonight that we'll let him talk about in just a moment here.
Yeah.
But Sock says if Ben killed, what? Yes, the Patterson cut is going to make everybody happy. So it's going to prove everyone right and everyone wrong at the same time.
And then we can all be friends again.
Right. If Ben killed Vader, then the Emperor would have killed Luke later on. Interesting. So, I mean, a great discussion all around. Corey, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. But as we come to the end of the show, next week, Corey, or maybe we'll do the watch party. I'll have to reach out to Orkin Beans 14 and see when he's available.
I would say I would like to see a cut where Obi-Wan does take Anakin back on the ship just to see what the heck happens.
Okay. Corey, can you go to our slide for our next week's, possibly our next week's episode, just to let people know. But nope, keep going. We've already been talking about this all day. No, we keep going. The Emperor's grandfather, keep going. What if Anakin's Empire? That would be our discussion if we decide not to do the watch party next Saturday.
I want this watch party, bro.
It may happen, but maybe we'll do the Delta Squad watch party on Saturday or Sunday, and then the other discussion about Anakin's Empire the next day. But that is what we're looking at doing for next weekend. But we'll have to check out this watch party to see who,
I just double checked my messages from my friend. Shout out to William Bush that sent me this the other day. So I think I've got the link. I'm not sure. I can send it to you guys if you can't find it.
Sweet.
I just don't, I have to work it out to do it first.
Zod seems to have it, so you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that we can coordinate.
We can work something out.
Zod, you will definitely join us for that watch party, bro. That's just a given. That's going to happen. But guys, as we come to the end, I just want to say, as always, thank you so freaking much for hanging out with us and joining us. Sky, you were a surprise. I'm glad that you were here, bro. But as I always do, I have to roll out the red carpet for my boys, my Delta Squad people. Let us know what you got going on for upcoming streams and promote your channel. Let's start with Skywalker, and then we'll do Savage.
First I want to say thank you guys for letting me up on this panel. I was not expecting this stream today, you know what I'm saying? But this has been a pleasant surprise. It's been one of the most fun streams that I think I've done. So thank you guys for that. I am going to be going live tomorrow evening, you know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that. And I'm also going to be shooting the next episode of my interview series, OG Talk, for our Restore the Snyderverse family. And that will be releasing this weekend probably, or no, this coming weekend. So, be on the lookout for that because it's a very dope guest that people have been asking me to have on for a while. And I think it's going to turn out really well. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice. And then my man Savage, let us know what you got going on, big fella.
Well, I've got my live stream in, I think, an hour and a half to 9, 10, about an hour and a half with the Snyder Knights admin, the group I created, and some of the admin team to talk about stuff, and a little surprise, an upcoming project that will be starting. I'll be starting this week, and that's it really. I've got more in the future, but for that now, if everyone here in the chat wants to join us and see what it's all about, it'd be about an hour and a half. If you just go on my channel and click the notification thing, it will tell you what time it is and in your time zone. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and thank you for having me again, guys. You know I love it here, and hashtag Corey is wrong.
Well, Super Bro Corey, you are not strong with the Force today, brother. Super Bro Corey, as you and I come to the end of this long feud of ours, how are you feeling? Do you feel like you can sleep better at night, or do you feel more conflicted?
I feel like some answers may have been revealed today, but deep down in my heart, I know it to be true. Obi-Wan definitely didn't do enough.
We've just made it worse, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to go on for at least another 10
I know
years.
what's going to happen. He's going to text me right after the show, and he's just be like, hey, we got some things we got to finish from our conversation.
I tell you what, this unleashed a whole new set of emotions for me now. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to do my research of the Clone Wars, which I've already kind of started. I jumped into. I watched the first episode 1 again, episode 2, and I'm about to jump into Clone Wars now.
Very cool.
And then, or do I
watch
Bad Batch?
Good too.
Bad Batch first, or then?
No, Clone Wars. Bad Batch, you don't go until after Clone Wars.
Okay, so Clone Wars. So I'm gonna review the tapes there, the documents, and then when Vader comes out and we see him conflicting, like, man, I wish Obi-Wan should have helped me more, and Anakin's like crying and stuff like that underneath the helmet, then I'll be able, like, told you so. It's coming, buddy.
Don't forget, guys, we have 2 hashtags now. Hashtag Trey, check this watch, and hashtag Corey is wrong. All right?
Get on Twitter, guys.
I'm gonna reach out to Necron, and we're gonna get some more memes going. You know what I'm saying?
Necron's been killing it with those memes.
I thought we were cool, Sky.
Hey, all is fair in love and war. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this was crazy. Yo, hey, I love you guys, man.
Yes.
Love you, too.
Love you guys. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our Delta Squad discussion, debate, whatever the hell you call this tonight.
War.
War that's going on. It's going to be Super Bro Corey v. Dat channel. Ultimate Dawn of Justice. Dawn of Obi-Wan not failing you. But guys, thank you so much. We always appreciate it. As always, it helps us out so freaking much. We need you guys smash that like, you share this video, you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Follow us on all of our different social media pages like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find us, just to have more of a good time. And please subscribe to the Savage Bat, to Skywalker the Jedi. These guys, seriously, I only have awesome people on our panel because I work with the best. Right? But guys, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bat time, I guess.
Same bat channel.
Batman out.
See you.
Have a good one, everybody. Take care.